Good morning, my dear students, the students of grade 4. Our lesson today is going to be reading, which is My Brother Martin, the story or the selection of My Brother Martin. This story in reading straight page 328 till page 341 is talking about this girl, Christine, which is Martin Luther King sister. She's gonna recall all the events of the story from the beginning till the end. Before we start to the story, I want to remind you of yesterday's comprehension scale. The comprehension scale of yesterday was cause and effect. Yes, cause and effect. Cause, it means the reason, and effect, it means the result. And I told you, you have to find the cause and effect statements in the story by asking yourself two simple questions: why and what. After asking yourself why, you will find the reason. After asking yourself what, you will find the effect. As I showed you some examples yesterday to understand the cause and effect statements. Today we will take My Brother Martin to apply the skill of cause and effect on this story. But before I start the story, you have to know the genre of this story. The genre of the story is biography. Biography is a story of a real person that told by someone else. So a biography story is a story of a real person told by someone else. In this biography today, My Brother Martin, we will know about the theme of racism, which means the discrimination or treating people differently. From the picture here, you can find that Christine, this girl, Christine, which is Martin Luther King sister. Her skin is black. You can see here that it shows that she's black. She's gonna talk about all the African American in the past who were discriminated or who were treating differently by the government. The government in America in the past were treating people in different ways. For example, if you are a white skin or one of the white people, you have some laws or you have some advantages. If you are one of the black people, so you don't have any right. You don't have any right at all. Okay, guys? So this is the theme of this story. Like what we studied together yesterday about Rosa, the girl Rosa in here. Yeah, in here, Rosa Parks. This girl that refused to sit in the back in the bus. One of the laws in the past in America is that white people sit in front or in the front seats in the buses, and the black people should sit in the back. Rosa Parks said no, and she didn't stand up and sit in the back as she asked her because she is black. And after that, you know the story that they took her to the police. Okay, so the story today, My Brother Martin is gonna explain all that part, and is gonna explain someone who really changed the world from upside down, Martin Luther King Jr. Let's start the story together, and don't forget that we read the story and then we apply the skill. Yeah, in here, in the first two pages here, Christine, the girl, as I told you at the beginning of the story, this girl, Christine, is gonna explain all the events of her brother's life from the beginning till the end. Okay, here, in here, yes, what can you see here? Yeah, this is Christine, the girl. Okay, that is the sister for Martin Luther King, and this is Martin Luther King Jr., dad and mom. The story starts here. Yes, starts here in the first two pages. They are talking about the birth of Martin Luther King. Listen to the pages here, and we will discuss them together.
Gather around and listen as I share childhood memories of my brother, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I am his older sister, and I've known him longer than anyone else. I knew him long before the speeches he gave, and the marches he led, and the prizes he won. I even knew him before he first dreamed the dream that would change the world. We were born in the same room, my brother Martin and I. I was an early baby, born sooner than expected. Mother dear and Daddy placed me in the chiffon drawer that stood in the corner of their upstairs bedroom. I got a crib a few days afterward. A year and a half later, Martin spent his first night in that hand-me-down crib in the very same room. The house where we were born belonged to Mother Dear's parents, our grandparents, the Reverend and Mrs. A.D. Williams. We lived there with them and our Aunt Ida, our grandmother's sister. And not long after my brother Martin, who we called ML, because he and Daddy had the same name, our baby brother was born. His name was Alfred Daniel, but we called him A.D. after our grandfather. They called me Christine, and like three peas in one pod, we grew together. Our days and rooms were filled with adventure stories and tinker toys, with dolls and Monopoly and Chinese checkers. And although Daddy, who was an important minister, and Mother Dear, who was known far and wide as a musician, often had work that took them away from home, our grandmother was always there to take care of us. I remember days sitting at her feet as she and Aunt Ida filled us with grand memories of their childhood and read to us about all the wonderful places in the world.
Good. After listening to the 2 pages here, I want you to try to mention all the people here in the 2 pictures. Look at the first picture. Yeah, this is Martin Luther King Jr. Why Jr.? Why I say Jr.? Because he is the same name like his dad. This is his dad. Okay, this is Martin Luther King, Dr. Martin Luther King, and this is Martin Luther King Jr. Okay, and this is Christine. This is Mother Dear. We have Martin Luther King Jr., Dr. Martin Luther King the father, Mother Dear, Christine. In the second picture, we have, this is Martin Luther King Jr. when he grew up a little bit. And this is Christine. And this is their third brother. Okay, their third brother, Daniel. And this is their grandma. And this is her sister, Ida. Those are the people here. In this story, at the beginning of the 2 pages here, he showed you that it's an ordinary life. They were happy because they have their grandparents that they were telling them stories. Their dad, their mom. Their mom, okay? In the second 2 pages here, I want you to focus a little bit because this story is going to take you from this happy life at the beginning to a very sad story. What is the very sad story here? Yeah, the very sad story here when the children recognized the cruel injustice of segregation. The cruel injustice of segregation. Segregation, I told you yesterday in the story of Rosa Parks. Segregation, it means discrimination or treating people differently. Those children, Martin Luther King, his sister, and their brother, Daniel, all of them, they will feel discrimination. They will feel that the American people were treating them differently because they were black. So they will feel that discrimination. They will feel that segregation. Till one day, Martin Luther King himself, Jr., I'm talking about Junior. He felt that and he went back home and he told his mom that he will change the world from upside down. The change that he's talking about here is the change of the way that people treating him and treating all the black people. How did he feel that, guys? Yeah, if we go here a little bit, yeah, in those 2 pages here, what can you see here? Yeah, this is a backyard, and this backyard here in the home of Martin Luther King, of Dr. Martin Luther King. This is Martin Luther King Jr., and this is Christine, and those all the people here, the children, the other children in the neighborhood that they were playing with them. But I want you to focus on the 2 boys here, this one and this one. Those 2 boys, as you can see here in the picture, they were white. While all the other people were what? Were black. This is Christine, and she's black. Martin Luther King Jr. is black. And the guy here on the picture, on the right, on the right here of the picture, he is black. The 2 boys here were white, and they were the sons of someone in the neighborhood who owned a store. Yeah, from this point here, I want you to listen and then we're going to talk together about it.
When we were young, all the children along Auburn Avenue played together, even the 2 boys whose parents owned the store. And since our house was a favorite gathering place, those boys played with us in our backyard and ran with ML and AD to the firehouse on the corner, where they watched the engines and the firemen. The thought of not playing with those kids because they were different, because they were white and we were black, never entered our minds.
Christine said here that the thought of not playing with those boys because they were different never entered our minds or our thoughts. So Martin Luther King Jr. and his sister Christine never think about this this idea, is that they were different, they were black, and those boys here were white. It means that they cannot play with each other. No, they always think about this. Martin Luther King Jr. and his sister Christine always thought that they have to play with everyone because they were equal. What's the problem if I'm black and you are white? Or I'm white and you are black? Okay, it's only a color. It's only the skin color. It doesn't reflect anything here inside you. It doesn't reflect it that you are white. It means you are better than me. Okay? From this point here, as you can see, that Martin Luther King Jr. and his sister Christine were never thought about discrimination or segregation. But the problem is that the 2 boys here, their father, the 2 boys, I'm talking about the 2 boys here, this one and this one, the white boys, their father told them not to play with black people again. And in here, this is the theme of the story, is that the theme of the story is centered on children recognizing the cruel injustice of segregation. Okay, guys? I think now you got the story. You will read all the story from the beginning until the end. And try to apply the skill of yesterday, the cousin effect. I'm going to try here a part with you. In where I'll show you here a page. And then you're going to apply all this story, all the skill on the story. All of it. And don't forget to send me the summary, guys. I'll find you... I'm trying to find you a cause and effect statement, which is easy for you, for everybody here to understand and to recall it with me. Yes, look at this part here, guys, and try to find the cause and effect statements. Yeah, focus from here.
Because of those laws, my family rarely went to the picture shows. I visited Grant Park with its famous cyclorama. In fact, to this very day, I don't recall ever seeing my father on a streetcar.
Yeah, here they said because. Don't forget the word because. This is one of the key words that I told you about yesterday. Because, put it in your mind, is that after the word because, we have the cause. We have the cause after the word because. Because of the laws. What laws here they are talking about? The laws of discrimination is that they were black and the other people were white. It means that they were different. Because of the laws, they stopped going to the parks. So because of the laws, this is the cause. What happened? They stopped going to the parks. This is the effect. A lot of statements of cause and effect in this story. I want you to read it now and send me the summary, guys. Send me the summary of my brother Martin. Okay, guys? See you in another lesson. Goodbye.